Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Dragon Quest VIII. When we last left off, we made it to the point in the story where we get the Godbird Soulstone, and we gained the ability to fly. We did some treasure hunting, killed a few infamous monsters. Let's go ahead and finish that off. Today we are going to get all the remaining infamous monsters that's in the pre-post game. Is that a correct term? Is that a term that we use? Pre-post game? Before you see the credits roll and load up a clear game save, this is all the infamous monsters that we can actually kill. Our first stop is on an island south of Ascantha in the middle of a lake. There are two monsters that spawn here. One of them is always here, and that's Bush W here, also known as the Bushwhacker. The only interesting thing about Bushwacker is his actual name, which is Bush W. Obviously a reference to George W. Bush. Other than that, pretty mediocre monster, not worth really recruiting. The other monster that spawns here, like I said, can only be found at night. As you can see, it is not nighttime, so I've got to go back and fix that. But before I do that, let's go grab this chest here. It's got an Yggdrasildu in it. Yggdrasildu is, of course, a word that I have a really hard time saying, but with practice, I think I'm getting better. I really do love the flying in this game, although it can be irritating to land on a specific spot, especially because my fingers tell me that X is confirm. So I'll hit X and I'll spin forward and I'm trying to land somewhere, and triangle is land. This game is really weird. They make triangle cancel and all this other stuff. It's very odd. And even to this day, I still just am not used to it. Especially when you consider that really none of the other Dragon Quest games are like that. I've been playing Dragon Quest VI recently, just because I kind of wanted to do a low grinding run. I wanted to see what the minimum level was that I could go and complete the game. No grinding for jobs, no grinding for levels, nothing, none of that. But, that's a fun thing. So here we have the Killer Director. He could potentially spawn on the island we were just on, but he wasn't there, so I flew over to his second location, which is the southern plateau of the desert. We got the Ogre Shield here earlier, I do believe. And one of the great things about coming on these plateaus at night is a lot of liquid metal slime spawn. On my way to fight the Killer Director, I killed 4 liquid metal slimes. I got 2 levels. It was really nice. Really, really nice. The Killer Director himself is actually worth recruiting. If, for some reason, you don't have rank A beaten, and let's say you haven't done any of the monster arena past rank C. We'll say C. I want to say that the 3 killing machines are available after you defeat rank C. But they're really good at defeating rank B and have a really high chance of defeating rank A. That's because when you put the 3 of them into a party together, they have a death blow that they'll do. And it is really good. It does a shit ton of damage to everything on the screen. So anyway, this is the Shadow Conductor. Nothing special to say about him other than the fact that he drops a gold monster coin. And he's one of, I think, 4, it might be 5, but I'm fairly certain it's 4 monsters that are named after the quote-unquote founders of the Dragon Quest series. So our next infamous monster is the Arch-Archdemon. He is located on a previously unavailable island on the southeastern continent, to the west of the Abbey where we recruited Angelo. And the Arch-Archdemon, he's fairly okay, but the problem with the Archfiend, as he's actually called, the problem with the Archfiend is the fact that we just have so many better monsters. If you had gotten him a lot earlier, he would have been amazing. But the fact that you can't get him until way later in the game is kind of disappointing. That's actually one of the major problems I have with the Monster Arena stuff in general. So this right here is on a cliff above that bridge there. To get to it, you actually have to fly out, go over, and land on the plateau up there, and then you can get to that treasure chest. But the problem is, like, I feel like a lot of these monsters are just available out of order. Like, I get the idea of, like, okay, here has a super powerful monster, but the fact is like, Steropes is a really good example. You get Steropes first. He's available first out of all of the 3 Cyclops monsters, and he is the strongest of the 3 of them. The other 2 are inferior to him, and you don't get them till much later. You get Brontes when you go to the isolated plateau, and then you get, I forget this one's name, but we're about to fight him. Like, he's called the Big Blue Bully. He's the weakest. He's only got like 450 hit points and stuff when you recruit him, and he's just, there's no point in recruiting him now. There might be some kind of like special group if you put all 3 of the Cyclopses together, but I'm not really familiar with it. Pretty much the only special groups that I can ever remember are, if you put 3 slimes into a group together, it doubles their hit points. If you put the 3 killing machines in a group, they get that special death move. And then if you put the 3 golems, you get the My 3 Golems group, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. So in that chest, we get that. And finally, our last stop is the Godbird's Eyrie. Now, I'm going to cut out all the, trekking through the Eyrie, because all the chests are in the same exact places. The monsters are what you would find on the wandering the actual isolated plateau itself, so there's really nothing new in here except for the chests. And don't you love how many times I've actually tried to open a chest from the back during this LP? Like, I can think of 4 times off the top of my head. But there's some really good treasure in here you definitely want to go out of your way to get. Those 2 mini medals, then you get a gold nugget if you need one of those. Dragon dung is really used for making cheese. And then this is the chest we really came here for, Orichalcum, which I've already went over Orichalcum, but basically you make the best items in the game with Orichalcum. So I went to the top here so I could zoom out, and then I went to the Monster Arena, where I'm going to try rank S. Like, it is possible to beat rank S with a party of Talos or Steropes, Curer, and Skeledoid. It is very possible. And if you want to beat rank S at the earliest, that is your best bet. But if you've basically put off, doing rank S up until you get the Godbird, then you get access to Stone Man, which allows you to use the My 3 Golems team, which, when you throw them together, they have the chance to, a really high chance, they usually do it in the first or second round, to combine into the mighty monstrous Mazin. Now, Mazin is really good. He's got 999 hit points. His physical attacks hit for like 350 points of damage. And he can do desperate attacks that will hit for like 900 points of damage. He is stupidly good for these arena battles in rank S. He has a couple of things in his favor, a couple of things, that weigh against him. Basically, when he combines, it restores everybody's hit points. So, as you can see, Goldman took some hits last time, but now he's got full hit points. Well, that's because they combined into Mazin. And then Mazin always starts with 999 hit points. So, you're basically starting the each fight fresh. And that's really good. It's also really good because when they split apart, any debuffs or anything that's put on Mazin, because in the first fight you can get sapped, they go away. So that's a point in the favor. It's very good. Combine that with his really strong physical attacks, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that if you can wait this long, Mazin is your best, easiest way to beat rank S. The things against him, though, stem from one problem. There's only one of Mazin. that means that Mazin can only attack one target at a time, and he is the only target on the field for the enemies. Meaning every time somebody attacks, they are punching Mazin in the face. And while he does have 999 hit points, that goes pretty quickly. Especially with no healer. The other thing that I was talking about, how Mazin only has one attack, well, like, if you are using the group of Skeledoid and Talos and Cure, well, they actually have a fairly high chance of killing the liquid metal slime just with their, 1 damage attacks. Because there's 3 of them, and they, they're all attacking the liquid metal slime, and sometimes they get lucky, and they'll kill him before the Cure slime heals. And you can't really do that with Mazin because he's only got 1 attack. Pretty much the only way he'll kill the liquid metal slime is with a desperate attack. And as you can see here, I thought I was going to lose. I'm getting my butt kicked. I haven't killed a single monster. They already got him down super low. And then I was just like, oh man. I mean, if you lose, don't get discouraged, because just like any other team, there's a luck component to using Mazin. You can get really unlucky and have one of the monsters killed before they actually form into Mazin, but I got pretty lucky here. I mean, look at that. Very, very clutch. Thought I was going to lose.